e3. And black basically does the same plan. Castles, knight back to e7, c5, bishop b7 is the typical plan then. Queen e3 is really misplaced because now after castles and rook e8, the queen will find itself very awkward. So the main move here is queen c3. So the idea is it attacks the knight, forcing black to delay castling for another move. And also, it defends the e-pawn indirectly through the attack, through pinning the knight to g7. So here there are two moves that are main here, bishop b7 and knight e7. Both are playable. However, I prefer this move, knight e7. And now, the game I'm going to be showing as an illustration of how to play this is a game I played black against Gildardo Garcia in 2002. And Gildardo Garcia is a GM, 25-26. I was black. I was only 22-66 at the time. However, this was a very big game for me, as it was actually my first GM win. And that's the game I'm going to be using to show how to play this line for black. As most of this game, believe it or not, or at least the opening of this game was all prep. So now, there are a few options for white here. The main one, however, is e5. Certainly looks like a dangerous move. However, after knight e4, queen e1 is the best square for the queen. As on e3, it often gets kicked by knight f5 later. And now black has two perfectly good options, d5, followed by blockading the f-pawn with bishop f5, and maybe even h5. And white's going to find it very difficult to break through that. Also, black also has the ideas of c5, c4, which can be very, very strong here. So that's an option. Also, simply bishop b7. And it's very difficult for white to do too much here. However, Gildardo actually found what I believe is the most dangerous move. However, unluckily for him, it was a move Larry Christensen and I had prepared for, because Larry, of course, is a very good attacking player, and this is the first move that came to his mind as the biggest threat to black's position now. And if you don't know what you're doing here as black, you could risk very sudden death. It's f5. Now, this is a very, very dangerous idea. However, it's one I had analyzed very deeply, so I was almost glad to see this. So after f5, I castled, and again, instantly, he found the most dangerous move here. If bishop g5 in this position, knight takes e4, f6, knight c3, or even knight g5 here would be fine. And then after f queen e7 is totally fine for black. But even after f6, knight c3, fe, knight e2 check, really black does not have enough here. White does not have enough. However, he finds the most dangerous move, which is bishop h6. Now, if you were seeing this move for the first time, you'd be very scared. I mean, if black is not careful here, he can get suddenly crushed. Of course, the f-knight can't move. The e-knight can barely move. Black almost has no moves in this position. And white's threatening simply to swing the queen over to g3, after which black's going to experience a pretty sad death. However, black has some very nice resources here, which, of course, when we were analyzing, we found with the help of the computer. And that is starting with king h8. So now, believe it or not, this move doesn't actually threaten anything, but it leaves white without too many good things to do. If white does absolutely nothing, I can even play knight eg8, attacking the bishop, then followed by h6, kicking it away, and then consolidating. Keep in mind, if I do get a chance to consolidate, play bishop b7, c5, threatening c4, white's going to have a very tough position. Strategically, white's position is a little loose. The e4 pawn's weak. If that falls, the f5 pawn's weak. And white's queenside development is also lacking. So white has to be a bit careful here. So he has to proceed very energetically. Now he played e5, which leads to a pretty nice position for black. bishop g5 was the main move we looked at in an analysis, and now it gets really crazy. Knight takes e4, f6. So now knight takes g5 is simply not possible because fg is check, followed by taking the rook just kills me. So I have to take the queen. Takes the knight. Knight e2 check, an important move. So now if king h1, I simply move my queen, takes rook, queen takes f8, rook takes f7, queen e8. And now the idea is that if rook e7, I can simply play queen c6 or queen h5. I believe queen h5 is the better move. So now bishop f7 is answered by knight g3 check, which kills him pretty much. So this would have been quite good for black. So he really can't allow this. He doesn't get to chase my queen around for very long, let's just say. So really, white has to play king f2 here. Queen e8. He takes f8 check. Queen takes f8. King takes e2. And now the key move is bishop e6. The idea being, if bishop takes e6, queen e8. And then after the king moves, queen takes e6. And although white has a rook and two pieces to the queen dominates here because it's simply threatening too much. Queen d5 check is going to attack the king, g-pawn, and bishop. So basically, I think in this position, black has a decisive edge. The queen's simply too strong, and white's not developed enough on the queen side. So this would be very good for black. So I think the best, it was discovered, was knight d2, trying to develop some pieces. But after queen e8, it's really not going to be very simple for white. So white's going to have to run the king to the queen side and hope to get enough play. But I really think that black should be doing okay here. However, had I not prepared this, this would have been a very, very nasty surprise and very difficult to find over the board. However, he played e5, which also does not turn out the best. As after e5, I take it, and after queen takes e5, I play knight c6. And now he has certain issues. Because his queen's attacked, my knight's now defended. So I can take the bishop. And so basically he's hanging everywhere. And after I take the bishop, I'm going to have some nice threats along the g8 diagonal. So he plays queen c5. Not queen d5. Queen c5. And here I make a difficult decision. Queen d4 check is very tempting here. However, he has bishop e3. And although I may not be worse in the ending after queen takes c5, bishop takes c5, rook d8, it's certainly not going to be very easy for me. As my f7 pawn hangs, I can play knight e4, knight d4, but it's a very complex ending. And if queen takes b2, then of course my f6 rook hangs.